I wanted to make a video on how to speak Scouse. I saw a ridiculous video. It's like a computer voice trying to speak Scouse, and to put it lightly, wasn't the most convincing thing I've ever seen. So you'll have to excuse my accent. It's a bit of a hybrid because I was born in Liverpool, but moved to Bath and then to Australia. So, not 100% Scouse, but I'm sure you can work around it. Now, most people that want to learn a Scouse accent want to learn it because of the Beatles. And I've got to say, I think at least Paul and Ringo aren't a good example of a working class accent. I think George Harrison comes a bit closer. And John Lennon certainly has a good example of the nasal tone that's used in the Scouse accent. I once watched an interview with Paul McCartney, and he can himself do a good working class Scouse accent. He was putting it on, and he said something like, "Sing searching, Paul, sing searching." He was impersonating some fans at the Cavern, some girls, and he says, "Sing searching, Paul." And I found that a bit of a laugh. If you want to watch it, it's one of the interviews just after John died. Now, in place of excuse me, a lot of Scousers will just say "here" or "here." This is a sound which you're most likely to hear if you visit Liverpool. You'll hear "here, here." Now, I think a lot of tourists struggle with being shouted at "here, here." But I think it's quite an endearing thing, after a while at least. When you've been badly done by someone's cheated you, you want to say something like "hey, you'll hear that a lot. "Hey, and apparently it's a bit of a lazy version of not fair." Now, you may even notice in the Beatles music, or in their interviews, the vowels and how they pronounce the vowels. For example, you'll notice on the way I say word, the same goes for girl and bird, which is sometimes a word for girl. Another slang you'll find a lot is bags. Oh, we've got bags of them. We've got bags of bevies for the party. Bags meaning lots, obviously, and bevies, or bevy, meaning a drink, usually alcoholic. And you might find someone offering you a bifter, and it sounds a bit sus, but it's actually just a cig. It's just a cigarette. Now, at your party, at your do, you can be assured that it's a bit chuss, it's chaos. It's turning into a bit of a chuss. And but everyone's chuffed, and people will be a bit blitzed. Oh, they'll be a bit blitzed, and they might be a bit chemicked as well. And that would entail that they are drunk. They are drunk beyond all reasonable measures. And for your party, you might lay out some butties, some jam butties. You might lay out some chippies, or some blind Scouse, perhaps all three of them. Now, after all that, plus the bevies, your mates aren't going to be feeling too clever, and that would entail that they're not feeling healthy. They're not feeling too good at all, because, they're chock full of all that kip. Now, you've gone and got your perm done, and you've got, you're all dolled up, but you may end up a bit merry. So, you birds have got to watch yourself, because you might end up pelatic, because, you're just a little totty, because, daresn't some woollyback fella try to win you over. Now, you might hear the word blind being used, and it can mean dead, like dead, spot on, or it can mean not the slightest, like you never took a blind bit of notice. Now, if you have a brother or a little sister, you might call them the kid. You might even call them your kid. Either way, you might call them a kid, or even more affectionately, you might call them a kidder, the kidder. Now, if you're a young girl in Liverpool, you're more than likely to run into someone who will call you love, perhaps my love. And you mustn't take this as anything sleazy or anything, because it's purely a polite term of endearment. For example, if you get in a taxi, the taxi driver's more than likely to say, where you going, my love? Or where you're off to, my love?